Hey guys, I'm Benjamin James Baker, also known as EG.DeMusliM. I'm a professional StarCraft 2 player playing for Team Evil Geniuses. What I'm about to show you is me against the top level Korean player from MVP called Tails. This is just on the ladder and it's played actually just yesterday, so it's pretty recent. And we're just going to skip right on into this game and I'm going to teach you about TvP. So this is a matchup that I've been struggling with for quite a while, but I'm beginning to find little niches that fit me very well. I'm an aggressive light player, I like to multitask a lot, but I also like to kind of trick my opponent into doing what I don't want him to do, and I love microing. So anyways, with that in mind, I'm going to show you this replay on 2x speed. This is Ohana, it's quite a long map, and we did just play 2 or 3 games in a row, and he did all in me. So I'm just reminding just to give you a little bit of background on that, I didn't know it was really MVP Tails. I went and looked at the stream and it was him, and his viewers were like, wow, he didn't all in you, da 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 da, but he did. So I'm just giving them a little bit of information. Anyways, setting up my stacking here, so stacking on the closest minerals, or I tried to at least. Anyway, we're just having a little chat, a little smiley face, and everything seems honky-dory. Anyway, there we go for the stack there. I will be building a depot pretty soon. There we are, he's building a pylon. So yeah, last game he said he all-in me because he missed a pylon as and got supply blocked. Anyways, we are talking a little bit. I'm just building my depot, building the barracks straight after. Very normal build for me, very normal build for him. I'll put up the production tab so you can see everything that's going on and I can talk about what we're both building and what's going on in both our minds. So he's actually scouting very late. What's the reason for that? I guess because we played a few games he may think I'm doing the exact same build, but also he just wants to play kind of greedy in terms of minerals. That most likely, or for me, the indicator there where I don't see a probe in my base, it means that I think my opponent's either all-inning me, as in like proxy something, or he just wants to get his nexus up as fast as possible. Anyways, I'm getting up my barracks very quickly, putting down my, and this is a 1 depot expand. What this 1 depot expand means, instead of getting the 2nd depot and making everything run smoother, it means that this expand comes up much faster, and while it is a little risky, it's still very defendable. So I'm scouting his base now, I'm walking up this ramp, I do get to his base, and I do see his chrono boosting both his buildings, but I see that there's quite a high probe count here already, and he's still producing probes, so I know that he is going for an expand, not a 4-gate, at least not a really efficient 4-gate. And then this probe coming down here pretty much says to me, like, hey, he wants to expo, especially that he didn't chase this SCV away with the Stalker. So he is killing that engineering bay. He's stacking up on minerals now pretty high, up to 600. So this engineering bay block did do its job. Here I am very safe at home, putting up a 2nd Rex, putting up 2 refineries. One of the big things in this matchup at the moment is just using 2 Rex to defend instead of 3. Well, the 3 Rex is much, much safer when you put up 2 extra Rexes, then 2 refineries. Just efficiency-wise, for the late game, if it does get to the late game, you're using too much gas. And while the barracks don't cost gas, obviously, the things that come with them, the tech labs and the reactors and the upgrades on STIM and such, just cost too much gas and you can't really get away with it. This means you get your 2 refineries 150 minerals faster, and just overall gas is produced much quicker. Anyways, I'm defended pretty well, got a bunker at the front, that means nothing can really penetrate me. He does have map control with his 2 stalkers, and he will come and scout me to see what I'm doing. Obviously, he just meets a bunker. That's a very big tell that I've got an expo behind it. So now we can start playing a little bit comfortable. He can just spend all his chrono boost on probes if he wishes. He's actually stocking up his chrono boost pretty heavily now, and 3 gates. This is what every pro should follow up with, really. So the 1 robust facility and 2 more gateways, very, very standard opening. You get the observer to check exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, it's rallied right into my main base, and that's exactly how he should be playing. As you can see in my base, I haven't got an engineering bay for upgrades just yet. I like to get them together. Harvest account wise, I'm actually keeping very even with this Korean Protoss player. So that's really indicative of a really good build. Okay. So I'm on 2 Rex, getting my starport, getting the factory. I throw down my command center now. This is greedy. This is very greedy play. Given that there isn't an attack coming and he didn't scout, I'm just assuming that he's trying to get back into this game by playing as safe as possible, or not as safe as possible, but as greedy himself as possible, which he isn't, but he is throwing down double forges and such, so he is going for the macro game. Anyways, harvest account wise, I'm still staying pretty level with him, just a little behind, but that's really good. I now start throwing up my 3rd Rex. He does scout everything, does scout that I'm making a 3rd CC here, and does know when my medevacs should be popping out. So this observer does give him a lot of information. I do start producing medevacs by the double right now. Expo-wise, saturation-wise, pretty good, getting a lot of gas right now, and Given that I am not upgrading at all, and he's already roughly a quarter way done with both his upgrades, I know I need to kick those into gear right now. But once my 2 medevacs are out, this is when I know I can be piling on pressure. My stim's almost done, so this is good timing. I'm out on the map getting concussive and combat shields. My gas is good for upgrades too, once these guys are built, so there. I will start upgrading pretty darn soon, and yes. So upgrades have started. I'm even using this factory. This is pretty key. This is something I've been doing a lot in this matchup now. On Daybreak especially, when you can get on above a high patch of ground where you can actually scout without being shot at by ground units, that's big. And so this guy up here, I didn't have to run up this ramp, I just used the factory to scout, and now I can run around and do whatever I choose to. So here, wow. That Nexus was roughly 95% done, and he cancelled it. That is huge for me. That's a huge, huge win. The supply, I'm ahead in supply. I got my 3rd base up, which isn't an orbital, and I just smacked down 3 more barracks. I know I'm in a good position, getting upgrades, getting more medevacs, constantly making up medevacs, making sure I'm not going to get supply blocked anytime soon. All macro-wise, it's going well. Harvester-wise, I'm 3 behind still, which is a very good number. And yes, I can just start asserting map dominance right now, given that I have delayed his 3rd. I've seen he's going double or 2 immortals so far, which indicates to me that no Colossus is coming out anytime soon. I even can see a 3rd immortal here. This factory gives me total vision of what's going on around this factory. So if we do see, look, I can see the immortals, I can see a little blip of his army, and I can see units run down either ramp if I want to. I don't actually run back to home. Why did I do that? Well, this is when my macro is actually kicking in. This is when I'm going to be setting up my 3rd base relatively shortly. And when I do have roughly 7 Rexes available to build units, and I do feel ahead, why should I pile on pressure anytime soon? While this 3rd is going to be up very soon, harvester-wise, I'm actually ahead. And while I don't know that for sure, I can sense that his army felt too weak to do anything at this point. I do see Archons, so I know what kind of tech he is going for. I know what to do against that tech too. I put down a Ghost Academy. Ghosts are amazing against High Templars and Archons due to EMP and Snipe. So this factory just doing its job, just staying alive for as long as possible. And I just want to talk about this factory, and yet again, this factory allowed me to see what army composition he had. And while my army is just a very bog standard MMM force, unit count wise and such, it allowed me to build this Ghost Academy before this fight happened. So I know exactly what to transition to and when to do it. So anyways, I will put it on faster, getting ready for this fight, and I'll talk you through this fight. So I do see this fight happening. I'm stutter stepping away, and this stutter step micro, it's tough to do, but you can practice it. All you have to do is attack, click away every time. So attack, click on the floor, right click, attack, click on the floor, right click away, and keep doing that. Keep repeating that process. And while he is whittling down my army here, I did do a little bit of damage. I got to see exactly what he's doing. And I do get all my medevacs away, I do believe, and a chunk of my army. So I know his 3rd base is up, my upgrades are going, his upgrades are going too, he's way ahead in upgrades, that's why that fight went so good for him. And just the Archons and Immortals are so good against Bio. While a lot of people think Immortals are pretty bad against Bio, against Marauders, they obviously do an insane amount of damage, doing 60 damage per hit. If I stim with a Marauder, those Immortals 2-shot them. So that just shows how much damage they do. So the production tab, I'm making a lot of Marauders, a lot of Marines, still making medevacs, getting upgrades, and my 3rd base is up and full and pretty well saturated. So 65 workers against 70. I don't really want to go much higher than that count, actually. A Terran relies on mules. So while a Protoss roughly wants to aim for about 80, which he's doing right now, a Terran wants to be at around 65. The reason for that is mules actually save you a lot of supply. The Terran army isn't as efficient for cost or supply as the Protoss one, so he needs to use mules to his advantage by not getting that many workers and just using that supply on his army too. So here you see I am making 5 ghosts out of these 5 Tech Lab barracks. I'm even making a 4th base pretty soon. So I'm playing pretty crazy. Here I do have the Mobius reactor upgrade, so they do start off with an EMP straight away. I do have an SCV scouting here just to make sure that there's nothing that comes at me through here. Anyway, I do see that probe, and I should see more units that do pass by there anytime soon. Anyway, his army, it doesn't really have that much AoE apart from these storms. These are the real hatred for me when it comes to Protoss. Storms can kill you. One storm that lands, one High Templar that wasn't EMP'd can be the death of you. If a storm landed on this army that was in a ball or stood stepping away, I could actually die to that alone. So keep that in mind. That's how careful I have to play from now on. Given that his army composition is pretty strong, and I scan, I see absolutely everything that is here. So I see his whole army, he's not hiding anything, and he is just producing more and more High Templars, more Zealots, and he is almost at so 3-3 is just finished now. Upgrade-wise, my 2-2's just finished, so I am behind on upgrades, but my army composition, I have a lot of faith in my army composition and just my micro in general. He doesn't have a Colossus here, so I didn't need to get Vikings or anything like that. I just need to make sure that these High Templars do not kill me. So, with that in mind, I EMP like a madman. I kill all 4 of those Archons before the fight even really starts, and now my Ghosts are just on High Templar killing duty. While he lands a Storm, I do snipe that High Templar, it does die, his army does melt away. That was ridiculously easy. I didn't even have to do that much. I just landed some pretty good EMPs on those Archons, and Bob's your uncle. What am I producing? I'm still producing way more Ghosts. And I mean, that means that my upgrades aren't going to be kicking in anytime soon because I'm so low on gas. But anyways, I did see 2 High Templars run past this SCV, getting ready to storm me on this cliff. So that was kind of sneaky play by him, but my little scouting SCV did spot it. So I've just played really good scouting this game, and that's generally been the gist. So anyways, with Storm in mind, look, I have to just get out of the Storms every time they land, and I just have to try and prevent them from landing on me. So sniping these High Templars whenever I can. That one's got more energy, I snipe him, he just land a Storm, but I'm just sniping pretty well at this point. So yeah, a few High Templars do die. My whole army is in kind of orange, but I've got roughly 9 medevacs here. I am just sniping these High Templars, he's hiding behind bushes, I'm just scanning whenever I can, taking out these Zealots, and yeah, I'm in a good position now. Look at the supply, I'm 180 against 145, and his army, well, it's sadly lacking. And my army consists of 9 Ghosts. That's a lot of EMPs that can go down. He does try and engage me here, and this is quite a sizable amount of Zealots. I do start stutter stepping, microing back a little bit. I EMP these Archons. They are so weak, given that most of their health is in shields, and I do start rampaging into his base. So 2 times speed. I scan up here just to make sure there's no High Templars running at me. As I said, some Storms could finish me off, or just a couple of feedbacks can take out a lot of these medevacs. So look how many Ghosts I have now. This is an incredible amount of Ghosts. I am behind in upgrades still, getting my 3-3 now. But again, it doesn't really matter. When you've got this many Ghosts, they actually do really good damage against light, which Zealots are. Which means this amount of Ghosts, even though Snipe has been nerfed, they do a lot of damage. Just going to land really good EMPs whenever I can on these Archons so they die in a matter of seconds. Microing to kill that Colossus, and GG is called. So that game was just a very kind of standard game against Protoss. I played kind of greedy, took some risks, and just kind of read him well, scouted well, saw his army. His army composition was very weird. And while I'm not saying it's bad weird, I do believe extra Colossus without the Immortals would have been better, but he just wanted enough of a push army to stop my push, which he did, but he didn't know how greedy, or he knew how greedy I was playing after the Observer came and scouted me, but it was too late for him to really react and do like a 6k all-in or anything. So that was really good timing for that 3rd CC dropping. And upgrade-wise, while I started them late, 2-2 is really the magic number, really. Like 1-1 against 3-3, you're gonna get smashed, but 2-2 against 3-3, that can actually like keep you in the game for quite a while. And there is a supply gap with Terran against Protoss if you do macro well, where you can be roughly 30 supply ahead, which is really the key to winning this matchup, in my opinion. That's when you should pile on pressure, do what damage you can, keep scouting, use that factory as much as you can. It's one of the highest health Terran buildings, and you should abuse that. It stayed alive for a long time. I got to see what army was going, so I could adjust to that before I even actually fought it, which is really big. That's what the Observer allows the Protoss to do against Terran. He gets to see your army, and he gets to make an army around what he's facing. So while it is just going to consist of like normal stuff like Zealots, Stalkers, Sentries, Colossus, High Templars, you name it, he can get those ratios really, really good, which is what a Terran really lacks in. They're just going to make whatever they can when they can. So in this case, I got to make what I wanted, when I wanted, for what I wanted. So guys, thank you for watching. I am EG.DeMusliM. You can go over to evilgeniuses.net and check out my other replay reviews, or other players such as Idra and Jeff, or even Machine. So guys, thank you for watching. Cheers.